Hi, YouTube. What's up? I am back again today with a new deck for you guys to try. This is a Fatigue Warlock that I haven't really been seeing much on ladder, but I saw a tweet from Thijs a few days ago saying he did 12 wins with this deck in Heroic Brawl, and it beat the Warriors really well. So if your ladder is full of warriors, you might want to give this a try. Later on, I also saw Clark tweeting about this fatigue warlock, and he said he used a list quite similar to Tace's list, but he swapped out two cards to add defile to the list. As you can see, I also have that here. And the main reason was to be a bit better in the matchup against Hunter, Paladin, very floody board based decks that might be a bit difficult to beat if you don't have Crescendo in hand, for example. It gives you a bit extra AoE. I haven't really played against Hunter or Paladin myself yet. I've gave the deck a try. Queued into a lot of warriors. I have to say the matchup did feel really, really good. As I did have a positive win rate against the warriors. I also been queuing into a couple of other types of decks. Some nature shamans, I managed to beat them as well. And I think we should just give the deck a go a bit later on in the video. For now, I think the first thing we should talk about is the mulligan, what you want to look for. Also, maybe some basic gameplay so you know what to do in certain matchups, because that is obviously also quite important. And maybe if you don't really know exactly what the game plan is with the deck, you might end up losing a good matchup. Because to be honest, I queued the first game. I was against the warrior. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really know exactly what to look for, and I died. And I was I was a bit mad because I thought like, hey, this deck's a free matchup against warrior. Why did I lose? And then turns out I didn't know what I was doing. So let's have a look at the cards. All right. So you basically want to try and cycle through your deck and get your combo pieces ready. You are running like the fatigue damage package. That's what the deck is called. So obviously that's what we're gonna do. You kind of always want to keep the miracle salesman. It's a good 1-drop. You keep the baritone imp always. Very solid 2-drop. Against hunter or paladin or any other board based deck, you want to keep a defile probably. I like keeping the geode as well. Don't know if you have to, but it is a nice, like, it's kind of similar to a tap, right? But you have a body on the board and you draw an extra card. Tentacle, again, maybe if you're against a board-based deck, you might want to keep it. Against Warrior, I would never keep it. Uh, what else we have? Encroaching Insanity is pretty good card. I would usually not keep it in a mulligan. I think maybe some people do, from what I've seen. Fizzle is very good in the warrior matchup, but I wouldn't keep it in my mulligan. But against warrior, I will tell you a bit later on how to play the game, because you might need a fizzle, and what's in the fizzle is kind of important as well. Then I like keeping the crazed conductor, especially if you already have a 1 or a 2-drop, or if you're on the coin. This is really nice to like go wide on the board after you've already fatigued once or twice, or just to buff up your fatigues. Popgar, I don't usually keep it in the mulligan, but it is a good card, like turn 5, 6, 7. And again, this is the Ziliax. It is perfect and ticking, so that means it will cost less for each minion in play, and it has Divine Shield, Taunt, Lifesteal Rush. So that makes it a 4/5 with Lifesteal Rush, Divine Shield. So in board-based matchups, I think like when there's a high chance of this card getting discounted a lot, you might want to keep it. But in slower matchups, I would not recommend keeping this card because it's never really going to be on the board. Then, game plan wise, against Warrior, you kind of like in the early game, you want to develop some board and start buffing up your fatigue stuff. So you can already start pushing some chip damage, so you don't have to like go all out later on. You want to like start pushing a little bit, get through the armor, get through his health a little bit already. And then when you can fizzle, what you want to have in your fizzle for sure is an extra crescendo, because that's the card that's going to deal the most damage always. If you can, maybe also have an encroaching insanity in there as well, because that buffs up your crescendo by 2, but also makes your opponent take extra damage. And that is important. You need to count a little bit, because the fatigue damage that you take and your opponent takes are not the same, obviously. So if you've already buffed up your fatigue stuff and you play encroaching insanity, like, your fatigue will stack and be higher. But if your opponent hasn't played any fatigue stuff yet, or you haven't played any encroaching insanities yet, it's going to be on 1 and on 2. So you need to think about that and do the math separately for each player to see how much exact damage they are going to take. That is quite important. So yeah, in the fizzle, make sure you have some of that fatigue damage stuff. I also found the trogs. They don't need to be in the fizzle per se, but I found the trogs to be very helpful in especially the warrior matchup as well, because you can push a lot of damage with the crescendos, but then if you finale this on top of that, you already cleared the full board with the crescendo, and then the gem tosser damage, it's 10 damage that goes straight to the face. And that is very helpful. But in other matchups, for example, you can just use it a bit earlier, finale it earlier to just try and deal with the board a little bit more. Against warrior, there is usually not that much board, so you don't really need it. Well, since there's a defile for the board-based matchups, maybe we can talk a bit about those matchups as well. I think the mulligan might be quite similar, right? You want to keep the salesman, keep the imp, keep a crescendo maybe, and a defile, like, so you're sure to deal with at least one wave of board. And then you have to kind of just try and play a control-y game to just clear whatever they do and not die, and then in the end you'll just have to find a way to kill them. But it's not going to be by self-damaging too much, obviously. You need to be careful of that, because you might just end up killing yourself instead of your opponent. But I suggest we're just gonna play a couple games. Wait, my cam went blurry. Let's fix. There we go. So I suggest we play a couple games. I'm gonna queue. Fatigue. All right. So let's see. The best thing here would be to just straight up queue into a warrior, right? So we can see how good the matchup is, or if I'm gonna maybe mess it up. I don't know. I have played a few games of this deck already. I do think it is a good matchup, but you need to really keep in mind how to play it. Oh, there is a warrior. Let's go. Okay, guys. So what did I say for the mulligan? We don't want any of these. This would have been a decent hand like this against a board type deck. That would have been fine. But against warrior, clearly you don't need this. So we're gonna reshuffle. This is better, right? You see, we can play the imp on 2. We can coin this on 3. It's fine. Oh, and we top deck tool, and let's go. Nice. That's good. Okay, he didn't do much. So we have a plan. We're gonna stick to it for now. This next turn, probably going to coin out the conductor. We are not gonna play this crescendo. This is gonna stay in hand. Hopefully we draw a fizzle. Not too late, so we're sure to have like that extra crescendo. But basically, I think you'd never really want to play the crescendo before playing the encroaching insanity, just so you can buff it up a little bit more. But you see here, opponent already is gonna have to deal with this board. They did forge, so I'm gonna assume they have bellowing flames. That will clear a little bit, but not the whole board. So he is going to take more damage already. Whoa, that didn't clear anything. I think this opponent is just going to die. Going to die very, very soon. Okay, this is gonna deal 4. already. Opponent needs to clear this. No way around it, or he dies. Some warriors win Brawl these days. No, you cannot play Brawl anymore now. Shield block. This is gonna be like a very, very fast game. Let's see. I think we might have lethal actually. Guys, look at this. Look at this. That was an insane game, guys, and I'm so glad I recorded this one because this is turn 5, okay? Turn 5 lethal. But because it was so fast, I think we can queue one more game. See if this was just a lucky hit. I think it was pretty nice. Pretty nice. That's what you're supposed to do against the warrior, guys. Just smork him till they die. Okay, what? Another warrior? Oh, let's go. Let's see if we can just win 2 against warrior instantly. No, no, no. Fracking. Not terrible. I'm not gonna keep it because I don't really have anything else anyway. See if we can get something better. Okay, we have a salesman on 1. That's fine. The problem with the Furnace Fuel here is that you kind of want to combo this with the trolley problem. Because if it discards your lowest cost spell and then summons 2 3/3s. But if your lowest cost spell is this one and gets discarded, you draw 2 cards. So that's a nice way to draw some extra cards on your turn. But because we have Crescendo in hand that we probably don't want to play early on, this is never going to be the discarded card until much later in the game. Oh, we did find a fizzle. Defile is not very good in this matchup, obviously, because there's never going to be that much board to compete with, so we might have to just get rid of this card. I'm thinking, because I don't think we need to fizzle yet, but I kind of want to get rid of some cards in hand. So maybe we just defile this, set up the harp. So we need to make sure that we just have the good cards in the fizzle, and also like remember the order in the snapshot so we know how much hand space we really need. Okay, another harp. Shield. Thinking we coin. Do we coin the Trog? Maybe we coin the Trog and just start pushing a little bit. Okay, this game is not gonna be done by turn 5. This is gonna be a bit longer. We just need to play it smart. Also need to be a bit careful for Dirty Rats, maybe, because earlier when I was playing on ladder, my opponents did love the Dirty Rat. Okay. Play this. Play this. The best thing for my fizzle would be if I could also have an encroaching insanity in there just for that extra damage. So maybe next turn, what I can do is I can play the fuel. Don't really want that in the fizzle anyway. Maybe the fracking as well. And try to look for the good cards that we do want in the fizzle. And then just start taking a snapshot and drawing and get going with the fatigue stuff, because we haven't really played any yet. And we are approaching like mid-game already. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is gonna make us draw more cards. Not what I was planning. but also not bad. I think we drop one of these and a fizzle. Okay. Even if these two die, we don't overdraw, so I don't think we play any more stuff. And this is a pretty nice fizzle, guys, because we also have the Popgar in it. When you play Popgar, the crescendo is free. So it's easy to combo that if you need to empty your hand and push a lot of damage in one turn. Okay, we need to start emptying hands here. Maybe we do this first. We will take some damage, but it's fine. We will either heal it back or just be immune the next time we play fatigue stuff. But this also makes us summon like a bit wider board at least. So they are gonna have to hit into a minion again or use an AoE on it. And our stuff is buffed a bit now. Okay, one Popgar out, but we have it in the snapshot, so it's not the end of the world. It's a bit annoying, obviously. But not terrible. Yeah, sure. Mate, I have it in my snapshots. Okay, so what we do here? Maybe immune. Trade this. There's a snapshot, so we can start emptying our hands. Seven cards in the snapshot, so we do need to play 2 cards before we can open it, so we are sure that we have everything. Oh. Who does? 7 cards in here, so I can play it now. Get everything back. Maybe we just do this already. And set up the new weapon. So these two are now 9 and 10. They'll be free with the Popgar, so 9 and 10, 19, plus 4 and 4. Yeah. The only thing we need to hope that doesn't happen is these two die, and then they get resummoned by the boom. That could be a bit annoying. But we are going, I think we might go for it now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can do this first. Set up even more. 9, 10. No, it don't even have to really. Look, this is how you beat the warrior normally on ladder. The previous game was a bit lucky, I think. This one is more how it usually plays out. You need to find the extra damage from the fizzle, and then you can just set up a lethal quite nicely. I think that's it for today's video, right? Because my ladder is filled with warriors, so this deck is actually really, really good to queue into them. I would suggest you just give it a try. You can, if you don't face many board-based decks like Hunter or Paladin, maybe you can swap out the Defiles for some other cards if you want to. I will leave the deck code in the comments below the video. Let me know if you tried it out, if you would change anything in the list, or anything. If you enjoyed the video, press the like button, leave a comment, follow my channel, much appreciated, and see you again in another video. Bye.